Welcome to today's episode of MFile, Change Your Music, Change Your Life. Today's episode is titled, Writing a Song Can Be Terrifying, Especially Coming from Nothing. Now, this is something that, if you've ever tried writing a song, if you're a musician who's it doesn't matter what level you've been at, you've probably had that desire to write something, and then you go to do it and nothing happens. I know I've been there. I'm sure a lot of you listening have been there. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't feel any kind of pull towards MFile in the first place. Basically, what happens is you get so excited to share something or to do something, or you just feel that urge to create. You're like, I'm gonna do this, and then you run and you go to do it and you realize the tank is empty, and or you're like, okay, I've got this kind of idea and I can kind of hear it, and you go to write it down, and then you slowly kind of run out of speed and you're not really sure what to do. And there's this fear of looking at the blank page or the blank slate, whether literally or as a metaphor. You just kind of are like, I want to do this, but I'm staring at a big fat zero and I don't know where to start and I don't know where to go from there and I don't know what to do. That's a problem. That's a huge problem. A lot of times you might think that motivation is the problem, but you often, when you're about to try and create something new and then you go and you want to do it and there's nothing there for you to do, that can be defeating. That can be more of a challenge than finding any kind of motivation, which I still motivation is kind of bullshit. If you can kind of make creativity a habit, the creativity comes more. But you're not always going to have something to go from. If you wanted to go and, I want to get fit. So you go to the gym, but there's nothing there. You're like, okay, how do I wanted to work these out? And I don't know what to do. And, my legs are looking a little scraggly there. I kind of wanted to get those happening, and I don't know what kind of exercises to do. So you have the motivation, you have the intent, but if you show up, you don't have the tools that kind of guide you in getting that process done. That's what sucks. So yes, writing a song can be terrifying, especially coming from nothing. You're starting from zero. So yeah, I've written countless songs over the years. I've tried all kinds of ways to try and stimulate the songwriting process. Many times in the past before, I have been like, I'm gonna write new songs every day and do this. And when I was waiting to audition for music school and trying to write all the time, there were a lot of times when I would get so frustrated because there was nothing there. It was like I was out of gas. I wanted to write these masterpieces. I wanted to put music out there and just have people love me, love my music, love what I was saying, all the grandiose things that you kind of secretly wish that you could get out of being a musician. From the time I was in high school, I wanted to be the next Jimmy Page. I wanted to, wear Solar System pajamas and play a Les Paul and just, solo forever and just have people freak out about how good I was and how amazing this music was. The love and the intensity that I had for that Zeppelin music, I wanted to create something that could do something like that to somebody else. I think inside it would almost be like a validation of my existence. I wanted to know that I existed and proved that I mattered by moving people with the music that I wrote. It's almost like you can have this perception of yourself that you're just living in a vacuum and nothing you do has any real effect on anybody else. So, you know, when I listen to this music and I get so like, oh, this is amazing, you know, being able to make something that could do that to somebody else, that would almost be like, okay, like I do exist. I can affect other people with my music and the stuff that I'm writing and things that I'm feeling and that I want to convey. That was like a really important thing for me to try and get across. But you know, like obviously time after time, I kind of found that saying, okay, I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna write an amazing song, I'm gonna build this masterpiece, I'm gonna write the next Stairway to Heaven, write the next 10 Years Gone, you know, and then you sit down and actually trying to do it. Saying and doing, like the intent and the result are obviously very, very, very different. You know, it's not always enough that you just are like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna build a bridge, I'm gonna make the pyramids, and then obviously it's like, oh, okay, there's a lot that needs to be figured out here. We got to get the materials, we got to get the engineering, we got to do all, like, saying it and getting the result. There's a wide gap in between that. And, you know, so many times I would just have that fire and go and be like, I gotta pick up my guitar, I gotta go, I gotta do this. And then I realized, like, what do I need to do? I don't know what's next. So I needed to learn more about how music worked if I was gonna make anything interesting, make people turn their heads. I didn't want to just write more of the same. I wanted, you know, something that would make an impact. Obviously, it's got to be new. It's got to be, oh, you know, it can't blend in with the rest of the noise that's going on. It can't. Nobody's going to notice that. So to be able to get to that next level, I needed to try and figure out a bunch of the stuff that I didn't know about. But also, I needed to be able to have a bunch of stuff to choose from. If I was going to sit down and be all excited and then realize I didn't have any tools in my tool bag, well, I better put some tools in the tool bag. You know, you can't show up to a job and expect to get stuff done if you don't bring anything to do the work. So trying to sit down and write a song and not having the skills and the knowledge to do it, you know, how good is your song going to be? Is it even going to get made a little bit? Are you going to make any progress? Maybe not. Or maybe you can make the process a little easier by learning. Okay, like thinking about how music moves, how things play against each other. This will result in this, and it will give you that feeling or that kind of, you know, like mood. I want to express this, so I need to use this type of scale or this type of chord or these extensions over this chord, and then move to these, and it'll brighten things up. You know, like there's all kinds of choices that you can make, but you wouldn't think to make any of them if you didn't bring your toolkit with you, right? So my plan, I wanted to try and just get as many books as I could and read all these books, and I gotta learn about chords, I gotta learn about chord progressions, I gotta learn about scales, how to build chords and move them around, and you know, if I'm on one chord, where's it gonna go, what are my choices, you know, like I just needed to know everything. So I took lessons. I, you know, went to music school. I majored in jazz guitar. Like I tried to feed my head and just get as many ideas and skills and choices basically for when I could write and what I could pick from. But I mean, it's so much work. Going to music school like blew my brain open. I had so many assignments to do all the time. And there was so much pressure to perform. You know, like you didn't want to let your teachers down. You didn't want to seem like you were trying to do something and you just weren't good at it, and that somehow represented you. It was embarrassing when you failed, and there were failures. Like, trust me, there were many times I you know, tried to play in front of class and have a teacher or the students just be like, that was rough, you know? That's part of the learning experience, but it's scary. It was just a really tough thing to get through, and to have to do so publicly when you're vulnerable and you're learning. You know, I doubted myself so many times. I pushed and pushed and pushed, and sometimes felt like I didn't make any progress. Sometimes I even felt like I was going backwards. You know, like I doubted myself as a musician. I almost quit a bunch of times. Like I needed to find some kind of result, you know, but by the end of finally like making it through, like you make your way through the forest and you see, like you get on a little hill and you look at how far you've come, and you realize like, oh my God, like I talked before about the binder that I have with all my notes in it. It's like a binder full of secrets. Like flipping through this stuff, it's insane how much of the actual inner workings of music is just kept behind closed doors. And you know, it's not like it's inaccessible, but there are a lot of gatekeepers in the way. Both like people and, you know, obstacles, opportunities, or lack thereof, or even just like trying to take lessons and having the teacher be like, that's not that important, you know, you don't need to know how chord progressions work, like just copy them. If you're not sure what it is, you can look it up on the internet. Like, really? Like, I can't tilt my head far enough to the side to appropriately reflect how dumb that is, you know? But that's an actual thing that gets said and gets taught. If you had that ability to sit down and you're like, oh shit, what am I gonna write? And then you look and there's like not just a tool kit, but like a tool chest, and everything is organized for you. So for any job that is about to come up, you know you have the right piece for. You know, you build that toolkit over time, and you know, you get something and you know, well, I don't really see myself using it yet. I'm not even sure what I'm gonna do with it, but I'm gonna put it over here. And then as soon as you encounter that, you're like, oh, wait a second. And you reach over and you grab it and you get the job done. You didn't know you were gonna need it, but it just comes to you because you decided to be prepared. Okay, so I went through, you know, tons of years of studying, and I have all my notes, and I can like make sure it wasn't just a fever dream that I went through. Like, I did learn this stuff. Like, okay, cool. I realized how much I didn't know, how much I still like don't really know, how much I need to grow and learn, and having a respect for that. But also, just part of that respect is that process of building up your tool chest, your tool wall, you know, being able to slap writer's block in the face. Like, how good would that feel? So one of the things I have been working on is basically just a resource of a bunch of different chord progressions. I think we've got like 120 something. Basically, it's just the formulas based on the scale degrees. If you don't know what that is, we've got articles on the MFile.ca site that you can check out if you want to look up what scale degrees are, but there will be a preamble in the resource kind of taking you through the steps, like this is what scale degrees are, right? You've got your major scale, and each note in the scale has a number associated with it. That's the order. So then we go through like, okay, building chords, and then the next thing is, okay, here's 120 different possible chord progressions. You know, some of them are just like 3 chords. Some of them are like 8 or 9 chords getting up there. The idea is you can flip through this resource. We've got half of them are in major keys, half of them are for minor keys. And you look at these different types of progressions and you're like, oh, 1, 2 minor, 4 major, 5, 7, 1. Cool. And then you plug that into what you want to play. And the idea is, I've had to go through that so many times where I'm excited and I just want to make something, but then I don't have anywhere to start. And looking at that blank page, looking at the 0, okay, it can stop you. It's a psychological block. The idea of so much choice that it just creates static. I can do anything. Well, then what? Right? So having something that you can go through and look, like you have over 100 chord progression formulas that you can plug into any key, no matter what your song is or what you feel like writing in or whatever. You can, it's a starter point. Okay, it's not like I'm gonna write a bunch of songs for you. That will cost you a lot of money. My time is very valuable. Okay, I have a baby that I'd rather be playing with, or my own music that I'd rather be writing. The idea is that I can get you started. Okay, the next time you want to sit down and get working on something, and you flip it open and you just say number 60. This looks kind of cool. I'm gonna try that. Try it in a different key. See something maybe that sounds a little better. Oh, this kind of got something in my ear, and you don't even have to use it. It might just be 2 chords moving from one to the other that gets those juices flowing. It's a prompt. Okay, it's a resource to start the wheel moving down the hill. So you're gonna be real happy because that's for free. Why not? It's something that I know is really, really valuable. I've been in that position where I needed it and didn't have it. And going through this experience of having to fight my way through music school, and even before that, just trying to get to music school and everything, and wanting to write things and not knowing where to start. Like, I know I have so much more respect for the amount of knowledge I have to choose from. So why not share it? Right? If I can get somebody to sit down and avoid that frustration that I've known so many times. I probably have a tattoo of its face somewhere on my back that I didn't even know about. I'm that familiar with it. You know, like, I don't want people to get stuck. I want to pull those roadblocks out of the way. There are challenges and obstacles that you need to get over in life that's going to make you a more well-rounded and confident and competent person. Okay, this is different though. I don't want it to be harder for you to just sit down and create. That's something that needs to just be as free and easy as possible. I want the ideas to come from your head and your heart and your wherever you keep your soul, some kind of inside pocket, you know. I want there to be a direct line through you into your body, into your hands, and into your instrument. So that's just one of the things that we're going to be throwing out there. So there is a link below to go. You just put your email address. We send you the ebook. It's called 100 plus chord progression formulas or something like that. And yeah, the idea is that you never have to worry about what to do next. There's always something that you can use 100,000 times and just plug different keys in or whatever. It's just a booster to get that process started. I don't want you sitting around waiting for inspiration, because it may never come. Okay? You may just give up entirely, and then there's that song in your head that was so beautiful that would have made me cry. Maybe it would have been played at my wedding, and I'll never get to hear it, you know? Or you can just take 2 seconds, go click the link, download this ebook, get your music started. Create the music you hear in your head, okay? So that's just one of the first things that we're going to get going along here. I'm going to talk about a few of the other things I've been working on. And yeah, it's a really important resource that's just going to remove a lot of that friction in getting started in the songwriting process. So that being said, today's vinyl pickins section. From my very own record collection, we have the Spinners. It's a shame. I'll tell you what's not a shame. The fact that I picked up this record. Dad jokes. I got tons of them. So this is it. I mean, they're an incredible band. They are. They're very vocal centric. It's from that era of soul music. You know, it's just really well constructed. It's got that Motown kind of feel, right? But oh my god, it just, you put it on and it just kind of draws you in. There's something really magical about vocal harmonies, and this group has it in spades. I think the idea that beyond the vibrations that are being made by instruments, the fact that it's, you know, 4 or 5 guys singing together and combining their own natural voices into vibrations and those harmonies, it's just incredible. Also, the bass work, doesn't matter if you're a bass player or not, listen very carefully to the bass playing on it. It unfortunately doesn't tell me who the musicians are, which always drives me completely bonkers. Like, give me some names. I want to know who to just absolutely gush over, you know? But the bass, generally in soul music, you're gonna get really, really good bass lines. But just in terms of how to outline chords, you always know exactly where you are. Even if you don't know, like if you're not advanced enough in your ear training to know, like, oh, that's a C7 and he's moving to a D minor and a G and then back to C, and you know, like, you know what's going on. This bass player is all over that. And the bass is a really important instrument because it somehow takes all the roles in the band into one instrument. Think about that. It handles the chords, very onto the chords, and it is very low end, so it's very percussive in a way, so it handles the rhythm as well. It's important for the bass to lock in with the drummer, especially bass drum. And on top of that, the bass lines, you know, depending on what kind of music you're playing, can get very melodic. So now you've got 3 roles: melody, harmony, rhythm, all in one. And this bass player is just out of sight, like so good. And aside from all of that, it's my son's one of his like favorite records, which is a silly thing to say, you might think, but from an early age, I started putting records on and seeing what he liked and how he reacted, and this became like a bedtime staple for the past, I don't know, 6 months maybe, like every single night. And he's got a couple favorite songs and he recognizes them, like when they come on he gets really excited. And you know, I feel what he feels, which is a really awesome thing, because it comes on and it lights you up and it just makes you so happy. There's just this amazing amount of joy contained in this record, and it's so good. Obviously I'm not a professional reviewer because all I do is gush about stuff and don't hate on anything, but I feel like it's important to talk about things that really affect you in a positive way. Let's talk about what we like and why we like it. Even if you don't like something, find something that you like about it or something that interests you about it. Don't dismiss things because it's not your cup of tea. You need to find something you can pull from and grow using that. So again, the Spinners, It's a Shame. Just, like, go buy this. Go get a copy of this. It's incredible. All right, so thanks for hanging. You know, come follow us. I'm not really good at these call to action things. I gotta get something written out so I know exactly what to tell you to do, but come visit us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We've got a YouTube channel where we back up all the episodes. We'll also have other stuff if I can get interviews with people. And yeah, if you want to learn more about like just basic music theory, I'm going to open up a free section on the website, MFile.ca, and it's just all intro music theory stuff, from learning how to read notes and you know, building scales and building chords and up to like basic harmony, just for free. Because I know that's something that's an obstacle, especially as a guitar player. People don't want to learn it because they think they don't have to. And then you miss out on a whole thing and you handicap yourself and you stunt your growth because you don't know how anything works. Like, sorry, but you know, it's true. So that's just part of, I want to give you as many resources as I can to just start you on this journey, because I'm going to be releasing courses, I'm going to be selling books, I'm going to be doing all this stuff, and I don't want there to be any obstacles in the way of you trying to advance and get like learning this exceptionally elevated techniques and types of music. I want to take all those barriers away. I don't want you to feel like you're not good enough. Feel like music theory is not for me. I don't read music. I can't do this or I can't do that. No, we're gonna smash all those false beliefs that you have about what you need to know. Okay, instead of that, you need to just respect what you don't know and give it the proper time of day, because it's gonna change everything. Change your music, change your life. Thanks for hanging. We'll see you next time.